over now. We are going to continue with compassion meditation. Compassion meditation is very important. Very important for emotion management. Especially when things don't go our way. Accept compassion. There's no easy meditation accessible to everyone. Insight meditation requires a lot of understanding. Compassion meditation is a lot easier. But first, as we had explained in the morning, non-judgmental mindfulness forms the foundation of compassion meditation. As you can see in the handout, okay, again, this is from this book, The Clinical Handbook of Mindfulness. Okay, The Clinical Handbook of Mindfulness, page 107. Mindfulness teaches non-judgmental observing of the arising and emergence of thoughts and feelings onto the screen of our consciousness. Our consciousness is like a screen, and this television is on all the time. Even when we are asleep, sometimes we have dream, thought process is still going on. So, in order not to multiply the impact of negative thoughts and negative feelings, we need to have non-judgmental awareness. Now with that, okay, as a basis, compassion mind training focuses on directing our attention with a focus on trying to generate feelings of warmth, gentleness, and kindness. If someone looks very critical of you at work, someone doesn't recognize your hard work, okay, he doesn't recognize your status, he doesn't really care, he doesn't recognize your contribution in the workplace. If you have to work with this kind of person at work, you will feel some tension. If tension boils over, if tension increases, the amygdala part of the brain, the old brain, will start becoming active. You will go into fight or flight mode. You are working on the assigned task, okay, on your part, but actually your subconscious mind is just thinking about the person who is looking down at you, okay? The person who is not giving you due recognition. your mind is with that person. So you're being distracted. Your energy use is double. You have to focus on the task at hand. At the same time, your mind is also distracted to the person who is irritating you. Emotionally, you can feel exhausted easily. Compassion here is just to feel the pain of that person. The pain of that person, feel, the pain. You may think that he is not, giving me good time. Why should I feel compassion towards him? You may ask this question. But if you ask this question is so self-centered. You just worry about yourself. But the problem of another person, looking at you with negative view, this is more than yourself. It's related to the other person as well. So you have to practically look beyond you. You have to reach out to his pain. Because he's in pain, that is why he's looking at you very negatively. Maybe he doesn't feel secure with you being present there. Maybe he has had some trauma from the past and is now manifested, and you just happen to be there. For whatever happens, you need to feel his pain. If you feel his pain and develop some compassion for his pain, whatever his attitude, whatever he says, wouldn't affect you very much. This is how compassion is important. The way to protect ourselves without going into fight or flight mode. If we go into fight or flight mode, just remember, our brain is only 2% compared with the weight of the whole body, only 2%. But it uses 25% of the energy. When the brain goes into fight or flight mode, maybe it's using the energy even more. If that happens, you don't have enough energy to continue for a very long time. So it's very important that, according to our teacher, Prakupa Bunchuk Maipong Sayadaw, his last message to people everywhere he goes, when I accompany him, he asks people, to love themselves enough. You have to love yourself enough. That's the reason you should have compassion toward the other person. If you have compassion toward the other person who doesn't like you, you are protecting yourself emotionally. You are also reducing tension. You don't become part of the problem. Instead, you become the answer. The answer not just for yourself, but also for the other person. That is why clinically people say this, and I have read this out in the morning. The morning handout, page 2. Page 2, line number 2. The two most important tasks in this mind training are those of mindfulness and compassion. Okay, this is from the Clinical Handbook of Mindfulness. Clinically, this is what they say now. From page 102 of this book. Okay, 102. There is just so much to share with you in this book. I think I will leave it for the 20th year of Oxford Buddha Vihara. For the 10 years anniversary, I think we will stick to this handout. So I'm trying to convince you that compassion is not weakness. It's not a weakness, actually it's a strength. You are stronger, you are a strong person if you can solve a problem. You are a weak person if you can only cause a problem and don't know how to solve it. And you are also a weak person if you become a part of the problem and not part of the solution. We don't elect people to be our leaders if they don't know how to solve problems. If they only know how to create problems, okay, we don't elect them to be in any office at all. So naturally, we look to people who can solve problems. So compassion primarily recognizes problem. We say, dukkha. Can I have the whiteboard here? Whiteboard here. From time to time, I need to get up and write. Otherwise, I will fall asleep. Okay. Okay. You know, life is a journey in time, a journey in emotion. You will remember your life when you have a visible mark of emotion. When you recall your past, you don't remember everything. Okay, I have a lot of proof in this scientific literature. Okay, we don't remember everything. Our memory is very selective. Then what do we remember? We remember where emotion, okay, has made visible marks. So life is a journey of emotion. Life is also a journey of time. The Chinese have just celebrated their New Year 2 months ago. The Burmese just 2 days ago. You know, we measure our life in time as well. But we also measure our life in terms of difficulties that we face. If you have come across a lot of difficulties, if you see someone who hasn't come across as many, then you will see this person is not that experienced, is not mature enough to tell you anything worth listening to. So we also measure our life in terms of the hurdles that we have to overcome. You can see here is a T-junction. It's a crossroad. If we travel like this, every time we come to this point, we have to make a decision, either to turn left or right. We have to make this decision. In terms of emotion, when you turn right, this is anger, there's irritation, avoidance, or fight or flight. This is on the right side. I'm talking in neurological terms. The neurologists say the prefrontal cortex, they have two different functions. When we turn right, we are overcome by anxiety. We go into fight or flight mode. But when we turn left, we stay calm. We stay connected with people. Emotionally, when you turn right, you can't feel the emotion of the person sitting next to you. You don't care what happened to that person. Even if that person is your mother, you don't care. There are many people, many times, who don't care what their mother feels about. Okay? All of us, at some point, that happens to all of us. So this is calmness, connection. It's in this connection that compassion comes. You get connected with the problem that you're going through. You get connected with the problem that the person next to you is going through. Maybe your colleagues, maybe your fellow countrymen, maybe your fellow world citizens. Whatever they go through, you feel their pain. If you feel their pain, there is an opportunity for compassion. So this is where we have compassion. Okay, this is left. This is not very. Okay, this is compassion. And this one, in Pali, we call dosa. So every day we have to make a choice. Or we make a choice without knowing it. We make a choice and we turn left. Or we make a choice, we turn right. If there's a traffic, you get agitated, you're already here, you have already turned right. Okay. But when you face a traffic jam, you're aware of what's going on in your mind, that the pressure is building up. You see people in front of you, a long queue, people at the back, a long queue. You come to recognize that I'm not alone here. those people are also being delayed. People at the back are also being delayed. You stay connected. When you stay connected, you don't actually blame the people in front of you for causing the delay. And the people at the back, the people behind you, if they can be as connected as you are, they will not be blaming you. Otherwise, they see you as the cause of that misery. But traffic jam, okay. Come on, we produce more and more cars. We all want to have a car. How can we avoid traffic jam? Okay. People who have been to my 50th birthday in my hometown, very small. When I was born, only 4 cars, 4 jeeps. When I was 50 years on, during the celebration, people couldn't move because there were so many cars. Okay. This is the cause of the prosperity that we have to face. So, each time that when you have traffic jam, if you are turning right at the crossroads, you will be producing more than enough of the cortisol stress chemical. You are feeding the black wolf in your heart and not the white one. And the black wolf will be leading the decision-making process. So you will make your own decision, okay, disconnected from everyone, including your family member. There are people who see even their own family members as threat. Okay. That is why compassion is for our survival, not just for the survival of our own self, but also for the whole planet. It's important to do this. Then, what do we do with this? How do we do this? How do we do compassion? Compassion focuses on dukkha, on pain. Dukkha means things that are not what you expect. You sit here, you expect your body not to be in pain, not to be in discomfort, but within a few minutes of shutting your eyes, you discover that the body has some discomfort. This is dukkha. Dukkha has two types, two categories. One is the involuntary, the inevitable. During lunchtime, we all feel hungry because of the nature of this body, this physical body. Whether you are an arahant, whether you are, a non-enlightened person, if you have got this physical body, you will feel hungry. Whether you're the richest person on earth, whether you are a pauper, this phenomena of hunger will treat you equally. So that dukkha is involuntary, it's inevitable. But to have, a lot of judgmental habits, a lot of like and dislike with food and with people like this, you can easily get irritated. That habit of irritation is the avoidable dukkha. It's a voluntary dukkha. You volunteer to have it, that is why you have it. So we have voluntary and involuntary. Today, we will be meditating on both categories. If you can meditate on the involuntary, the inevitable dukkha, you can connect with everyone, regardless of their belief, their religion, their ethnicity, their social status, whether they are wise or not. You will be able to connect with all of them. When you can connect with them, when you feel connected with them, this is what this one talks about. This is the latest Harvard Business Review. This is a special issue. The brain science behind business. At page 44, the neuroscience of trust. Why people trust each other, why animals trust each other. When one animal sees the other animal as no threat, at that time, what kind of chemical is being produced? It's called oxytocin. A chemical called oxytocin. When that happens, you feel very trusting. You can see kids, they trust people. Because of that, they can shake off the stress very easily. When we don't trust each other and still have to live in the same neighborhood, in the same company, in the same country, in the same region, we are sitting on a time bomb. According to this latest research, most people intuitively notice when they are stressed out, they do not interact with others effectively. At work, at home, you don't interact with each other effectively when you are very stressed out. So, compassion, by interacting with other people's pain, you're actually reducing your own stress as well at the same time. When you compare with people at low trust companies, people at high trust companies report 74% less stress. If you trust your colleagues, you have less stress. Oxford Buddha, we are committee members, and the monks, we have to have more trust on each other. And also everyone here, if you have more trust, you contribute into the growth of Singapore. More than this. More than this. Compared with people at low trust companies, people at high trust companies report 106% more energy at work. 50% higher productivity. 13% less sick days. You don't take sick leave often. 76% more engagement, more interactive. 40% less burnout. I'm publicizing this magazine. You can buy it. Maybe I will get some commission. I'm doing this. Karuna Thayathai. We are going to do compassion meditation. And the instruction for compassion meditation is to work on pain, to work on discomfort, to work on inconveniences. This is the main task of compassion. Why? Because whenever we come across inconvenience, emotionally we are shaken. We are rattled by any disappointment, any frustration. So we don't actually have, if we don't do compassion, we don't have this one, resilience. Again, this is Harvard Business Review. Emotional resilience. Okay. A review of many scientific research and findings. Okay, this book. So what do we have to do to develop compassion? We need to recall and visualize. We need to revisit difficulties and problems that we faced in the past. We revisit them. We think about them. Okay. We recall the situation. And we are going to see if there is any negative emotion, if there is any tension in the physical body, if there is any anger, so we are going to revisit the past, the pain in the past, the disappointments in the past, the frustration in the past, and then deliberately direct our attention towards compassion. We develop compassion for ourselves because we were in a situation that we didn't choose to be. Compassion. So one after another you can revisit the past incidents associated with disappointment, frustration, and anger. You can revisit them and deliberately direct your mind to compassion. But if any of those negative emotions become very strong, you should bring back non-judgmental mindfulness. Just register, release and return. Register, release and return. So you're going to be using non-judgmental mindfulness as the guardian, the God, watching your compassion growing. From time to time, non-judgmental mindfulness will step in to protect and nurture compassion. But if we only think about our pain only, if we only think about our pain and we don't try to connect with the pain of other people, we will become self-centered. Self-centeredness is another cause of stress as well. It doesn't help us to connect with other people. So it's important that we extend our compassion exercise to our loved ones. Our loved ones may be family members, maybe our best friends. So you choose them one by one, and think about their pain, think about their shortcoming, and feel compassion for them. Because if you don't do this, whenever you face their shortcoming, that will irritate you. That will make you judgmental. The moment you become judgmental, you are disconnected with your loved ones, even with your loved ones. So first, do this for yourself. Second, your loved one by one, a few of them. I think we only have about 15 minutes time. Okay, we're going to be doing this, only 2 groups, ourselves and our loved ones. If you have finished both of them, then start again, another round. Okay, as many rounds as possible. ကရုဏာကရုဏာတိတ်အရေးကြီးပါတယ်။တူချင်းနေနဲ့လားမိသားစုနေနဲ့လားကုမ္ပဏီနေနဲ့လားတိုင်းပြည်နေနဲ့လားကရုဏာတိတ်အရေးကြီးပါတယ်။ Okay, we are starting compassion meditation. So we have about 12 minutes. You can start with breathing in and out, slow and gentle, for about 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute of breathing exercise. Trying to relax, and then you can start compassion meditation, revisiting your shortcoming, your disappointment, your anxiety, and develop compassion for yourself on those accounts.